Welcome to Close Up, where reality reveals its hidden dimensions through unique stories. I'm Aleksandra Żaczek, and this time we turn our focus to Polish teenagers. Robot fights at school, unexpected but incredibly effective, because when learning feels like play, even programming clicks.
I like make things to destroy things.
I think some stuff that men do is also for the women.
I just really like it.
We can make the space where the dreams come true.
I'm Oleg, I'm 16, I'm from Tychy. My grandpa actually went to this school. He said it was great, so I wanted to try it out. It turned out it is a great school. I can really do stuff in here that I like electronics. If I want to do something, I just ask the teachers, and I have a really big chance that they will let me do that.
Click, and there you go. It lights up. What year did Thomas Edison invent the light bulb? 1879. That's right. Those were the days.
My name is Michał Opoka. I'm teacher here in Abramowski, Katowice. I'm graduate from here, and the electronics was my passion from a child, because my father was an electrician, and when I was young, showed me many things about electricians, about electronics, and I've got it in my blood. When I was, I think, something about 6 years, my father bought me a battery and a light and 2 wires, yeah, and tried to connect, and whoa, it lights, it works. So yeah, it was the image that I remember from my child. As a teacher, I feel really good, because I really like to work with teenagers. Because they've got really open mind for everything, and I really love it to share with my knowledge and expand my knowledge.
My name is Samuel. I made my first robot when I was 18. Everything started on idea make something in the school, and this idea makes here with 2 friends. We came to our teacher and we spoke to him. We want to make something big and fun in the school.
We say, okay, let's try. The first edition of Robot Wars tournament was 4 years ago, and we start to streaming 3 or 4 phones camera, and we thought it's okay. That really huge event, because now we've got the 4th edition. We're streaming live it on YouTube, and whole the world can see everything what we can do in here. So this is really cool.
He's going in for the takedown. It's falling apart. It's in pieces.
He tore it wide open and then simply...
We create the first battle robots in our region, and I make my first robot because we don't have enough robots to start this competition. Robots, I called them śmigło, have a horizontal spindle made of land mower. It's blade for land mower. This was a very disappointment construction because he didn't make any damage to opponent. So I changed the idea of make, and then I made this. I call him Blender because I think it's funny, because he blends things. When I came with this robot in the third competition we've made, this robot win this competition. So for me, it's true champion. I like it because it's fun. The most part I've liked is destroying robots on the arena. Feelings in this particular moment is incredible.
That was a punishing hit. Looks like one of Kasator's blades broke off, but it's hard to tell just by looking at the weapon. Debris is flying, and he's totally obliterated the wheel.
I am Juliana, I am 18 years old and I am studying the photography and multimedia. I was an area operator and I was a little scared because there was a huge mess and I was scared that something can jump to me. I think some stuff that men do is also for the women because there is no shame to do some electricians, recording the videos, podcasts, or something like this.
Let's set the camera up a bit higher.
My name is Aleksandra Żaczek. I teach the school physics and mathematics, but I'm better speak Polish.
We're a robot-friendly school. It's a popular extracurricular activity. Our electronics students build these robots. Unfortunately, it takes a bit of time to repair them after the fight. They build them using all sorts of recycled parts. They program the robots themselves, and the machines have to meet certain regulations. They can't use fire. I don't remember all the details, but they do their best to comply with weight and safety limits. And these are quite interesting challenges for these young people.
No i to są dość ciekawe wyzwania dla tak młodych ludzi.
I really like that we can use 3D printed parts. You can see Kasator's pilot is fierce in trying to keep us entertained right to the very end.
I really find sound design my passion. When I heard about the robots competition, I got really excited because we have a chance to work on a professional equipment and do really cool stuff with some equipment I would never be able to even look at.
When I saw it first time, I was absolutely amazed. I was working and the whole day I couldn't actually focus on my work. I've been watching like the competition whole day, like 6 or I don't remember how many hours was that. So it was so excited, and Oleg and other guys were preparing for it like weeks before. It's very engaging because he was coming back home like it's 8 p.m. or even later, but I knew that I supposed to let him do it because he was so happy about it, and I knew it's very important for his growing.
The main aim is our passion, and we're looking for solve the many engineers problem, and we are looking for the best engineers of this team because maybe in the future they can build something that we can send it to the space. Yeah, so the really big things started and the events like this.
Of course, I'm proud of my students. Abramowski is like the home for students with exceptional skills. And it's not only the educational skills, but also the skills, their hobbies, their passions that they do afterwards. And we help them in a way to grow. Their passions is like the combination of two words, the words of technical and the words of art. Yeah, lightness of art, and the combination of these two items, I guess, is the most, maybe not difficult, but challenging in a way.
Hello, my name is Dominik Kozok. I'm a teacher here in this school, but 4 years ago I was a student, but I want to come back here like a teacher, and I will explain this in Polish.
I teach almost all the photography and multimedia classes, and I also share my other passions with the students, like flying drones and new media, particularly in the field of generative art.
Pod kątem chociażby sztuk generatywnych i, że tak to powiem, staram się
I try to enrich the school with everything that fascinates me.
nie zachwycać. Robota, który mamy tutaj w szkole, nazywamy...
The robot we have here at school is named Abramek, and it's used for both presentations and creating 3D scans of classrooms. Students use it to learn the basics of operating this kind of equipment and to get their first hands-on experience with this new technology.
Nową technologią.
To make that robot, it's hard to start with this project, but it's easier than you further go in this project.
Myślę, że w przyszłości zobaczymy na...
I think that in the future, we'll see robots like this walking down the street, whether they're robot dogs or more humanoid models. Technology is constantly moving forward. We can see it's already happening in other countries, whether it's for deliveries or even as a sort of tourist attraction. I think it'll soon catch on in Poland, too. In fact, we're already seeing it in the media. Take, for example, the viral robotic influencer Edward Warchocki, who promotes technology in Poland and in the Polish media. I think this is a direction we shouldn't shy away from. Instead, we should learn how to live well in a world that's developing so quickly.
Na który nie powinniśmy być zamknięci, lecz właśnie uczyć się, jak dobrze w tym świecie żyć, który tak szybko się rozwija.
My plan for now is find a good payment job, very good payment job, and make stuff I like.
My goal in life is to have a successful company and to give back to my parents, because if not my parents, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't have a chance to work, to experience the stuff I do. My parents are really cool. I just want to say I really love them and I'm thankful for what they did for me. Yeah, that's it.
Well, school can be so much fun. Kama Kępczyńska here with me in the studio, an educational expert. So do you think schools like that are exceptional in Poland, in Europe, or it's quite common?
It's unfortunately exceptional, but I think the situation is changing because we see more and more the need for the changes. What we do, we kill the creativity of young people. We put them into the frame. And then we expect them to be creative and to think out of the box,
And
which is
we are
illogical.
testing them all the time since when they are 6 years old.
Plus, we also teach them to take exams and pass them at the end, which is illogical. The example presented here in the film is fantastic. The guy said that, first of all, somebody who came with the idea was a member of a family who said,
Yes.
go to the school, continue the education, and it will develop your skills, your ideas. And then something which I really loved on this film, this young guy said, I came up with the idea of something, then I directed my teacher, and I was exactly allowed to do things that I wanted to do. And look what happened. He created robots. First idea, why? Battle, robots fighting with each other, you know, I can, not my area of interest, but, you know, you look at it and then you see the girl, his friend, who is studying something totally different, photography, and she's interested in multimedia. So there was the place for her as well. So he, by his invention, he gave the field to his friends who can practice the skills. Because, you know, when you practice your skills in practice, not behind the desk at school, it's much, much better. So I think we are changing. We're on a good way. I'm very happy because I'm also a mother of children who are in the stream of formal education. So I see that teachers more and more understand that it's not only in the school, in the building, that the education is. They recognize the need of leaving the school, meeting people who can inspire and motivate students.
So there is a field where teachers can actually ask for extra help from the educational area, but not like formal one.
Of course, and as I said, I see that it is changing, and students in formal education can have more and more opportunities to discover non-formal education, informal education. They are very open to take part in experience connected with Erasmus+, for example, which is outside of the school, not only the one that we have the connection
I need to
with.
stop you here just to explain us, our viewers, the difference between those two types of education.
Non-formal is outside of school, as the building, you know, in the formal education, and informal way of learning is learning by doing. Learning everywhere.
Without notebooks.
Yes, so the girl who was taking the pictures during this battle, she was doing exactly what we know. She learned something in informal education, but then she did informal one. So she, during this event, she was practicing the skill.
Right, but not every school can actually provide kids with additional equipment. Not every school is equally equipped, but do you see, especially in Poland, that actually education is heading toward this trust-based education? Because that's how I see it, actually, and we heard that quite often in this documentary as well, that the teachers got this trust in kids that they will do their job properly while having fun.
I think that the key point is the trust that young people have in themselves, because if they do, they would not lose your time, waste your time in formal education, because they would say, I'm not learning anything here, I'm leaving, I'm quitting, because out of the school, I've got other possibilities, and they would find the way of learning and educating themselves. They would find the authorities outside of school if teachers if they are not good enough for them. So it's youth now who have got more strength, more confidence in themselves, and they know what they do. In this film, we saw this guy who exactly, being such a young person, he knew what he wants to do. The problem is, what if there is no confidence, there is no strength from family, and there is no strength from formal education, from the teacher? Who can tell those people, those young people, you've got a talent in this, you've got a talent in this? And I would also comment on the definition of talent. Talented, we think that the best school results, yes? And we distribute grants for those who have got the best results in separate subject. It's not like that. The talented one can have a skill like being a presenter or having a great pronunciation and then working in TV, for example,
Right.
yes? So what is our role of teachers and mentors is to approach those people and say, you are talented. Has anyone ever told you that you've got a good skill? Or has anyone told you that you've got leadership skills? Has anyone told you that you can, people follow you, so you are the group leader, so you can create something, you can be the leader, you can be the leader of change, you can create something like those people presented in the film did. Some people are skilled in music and they don't know it. They think, okay, I can play the violin, I can play the piano, but yeah, some people do it. So is it a talent? Not really. They don't know it.
Right. So what is the situation in Poland if there is no this backup, where there is no anyone, where there's no one who could actually push those kids a little bit?
What happens? They are lost. They are lost. Then they've got menial jobs which do not satisfy them. Then they have problems with themselves, accepting the world. They don't like themselves. They do not like the surrounding environment. And unfortunately, they are not happy. And being happy means that you do what you like doing. It was quite significant what the guy said. I would like to earn some good money in the future.
Right.
This is the point. Now young people learn, study, because they know that it will lead me to me being independent financially or whatever. And I'm very happy and proud that I'm working with such young people. Obviously, I was the one who showed them the way sometimes. And what if it wasn't for me? What if I didn't do it? They would be lost, as I said, and probably nobody would ever tell them what skill they should improve, because if young people have a certain skill, they should develop it. And if we direct them and, for example, show them somebody who is a mentor, who is a good teacher, they can be perfect in their professions in the future.
So do you see any tools in terms of Polish educational systems that actually could provide this type of help?
The system is, as I said, too formatted, too closed to boost creativity of young people, because if we imagine 35, let's say, young students in one classroom, it's impossible sometimes to discover the skill of those. And if we, for example, are ambitious enough, teacher, to work in smaller groups, how would you comment? How would you check what is happening in each group? How would you discover that somebody is a leader? So the system is not good. But as I'm saying, I'm very positive, I'm an optimist, and I think that the Polish school recognizes that without changes, it will disappear.
Because from what you say, I wasn't that optimistic, and so my next question would be, okay, tell us what to do, where to take those positive solutions and how to implement them. So are there any?
Obviously there are. The formal education should perceive informal education, non-formal education as auxiliary, as something extra which will help, not fight with them. And it is possible. It is possible to understand the roles in society. Obviously,
so the whole system needs to be built up in a way so will be beneficial for every level. Okay, just at the end of our conversation, if you close your eyes and if you imagine yourself the school of the future, what that would be? AI-boosted school?
AI is something which helps, but we cannot rely only on new technologies because, as I said, we watched the little documentary, and here you've got a very vocational skill that was used and students created something like a robot. But talented kids are also with social skills in which the artificial intelligence will not help at all. I'm not against social intelligence.
And there are plenty of data on that and research.
Of course, and when I was in secondary school, we were all afraid of the internet. And it was a threat
some time ago, right?
Yes, and now my son is in school, and some teachers dare to say that artificial intelligence will kill creativity. Not at all. It will help. And when the new technology is used as a great tool, it will be perfect. That's why I don't really understand why we adults criticize young people so much, that they are sitting, stick to the screens of our mobile phones. I'm asking, who gave them telephones? who gave my kids telephones.
So we should start with ourselves at the beginning. Thank you very much for all your insights. Kama Kępczyńska, an expert on education, was here with me in a studio. And that was Close Up. I'm Aleksandra Żaczek. See you next week.